You know why I'm here. Ain't gonna be no peace.
This is our chance to take that white boy out for good. Tommy gonna be coming for your ass like the Terminator. Take him out.
Oh, he'll be taken out.
We gotta put the living before the dead.
This is it! We looking at an all-out war. Question is, what side you wanna be on?
Now, today we're going to be going through a preview of All Things Episode 9. Earlier this week, there were a couple of exclusive images that were released courtesy of Big Gold Belt Media, along with a couple of exclusive images. And I will actually be collabing with Nigeria Chambers from Big Gold Belt Media soon as well, so I definitely will keep you guys posted when that will be. But this week there were only a few images that were released. It seems like they want to keep things airtight and a surprise for the episode that is said to be a heartbreaker. Gary Lennon said prior to Season 3 that this one definitely is a heartbreaker. And over on social media, he also mentioned that this one is for the history books. So I'm definitely excited to see how it unfolds. We've only got 2 episodes left. Joseph Sikora did also say episode 9 is almost like a false finale because episode 10 apparently takes it in a new direction. So this may actually be the end of Force before we see a completely brand new storyline that transitions us over to Power Legacy, which means we're probably in for another bloodbath. I do also have some questions around the Red Funeral and whether that's something we're actually going to see in episode 9 or maybe is it something we see in episode 10, but we definitely will get to that in a bit more detail later on. So as usual, we're going to be running through a quick preview of All Things Episode 9 and what we can expect based on the exclusive images, the trailer, and any exclusive clips. But first up, the title and synopsis. Now the title of episode 9 is War Requiem, and the synopsis reads: Revenge, new alliances, and dangerous secrets collide, leaving everybody to fight dirty in a game with deadly consequences. Now I do think we all know where they have to start for episode 9, and that's the aftermath of JP's death. In one of the exclusive images we've got Tommy and D-Mac, and I do think first things first, we just simply have to see D-Mac's reaction to him finding out JP's dead. And Jinard was the one who killed him, but also the fact that he was there with King Kilo because they were looking for him. They were looking for revenge because D-Mac killed Mad Dog in season 2, and that's something we can't forget going into episode 9. And I do think that regret will live long with D-Mac. In all honesty, he is actually the person to blame. But I do think we're going to see a very raw and a human reaction from D-Mac as well. Same as Kay Egan, we're going to see her back in Chicago reacting to JP's death as well. The news has to be delivered to Kay as well, and Tommy's going to have to be the bearer of the bad news.
Tommy, make him suffer.
At the same time, he's also going to have to be strong for Kay and D-Mac, as well as get revenge. No doubt they are going to be angry, hurt, full of pain and regret that they couldn't save JP or do anything in that moment in time, but their mindset will quickly shift over to avenging JP's death. And Jinard simply has to go. No ifs, buts or maybes, Jinard just simply has to be taken off the chessboard. So coming over to one of the exclusive clips that was released earlier in the week, that was between Tommy and Diamond.
Diamond, I ain't gonna stop until Jinard's dead.
I'm not gonna let you kill my brother, Tommy.
Whole lot of shit you didn't think I was gonna pull off, D, and I did.
Now Tommy will be coming over to see Diamond. They are going to have a talk about how they ended up here, which I do think stems from a lot of issues, but Jinard definitely is the main cause. Tommy wanted Diamond to give up Jinard, a brother for a brother, which definitely sounds like a fair trade to me and to Tommy, but we know Diamond won't give up Jinard. He even says it in this exclusive clip, he's not going to give up his brother, which only means one thing. Tommy, D-Mac, along with Miguel Garcia as well, they're going to have to run straight through all of them. How they do that, I'm sure they're going to come together with the Insane Princes and flip some of the CBI members and rush them at the church, which we'll come to in just a moment. We also know from CBI's end, Jinard and Diamond will also make a play to strengthen as well. They're going to do that with the Marquez Cartel and Roberto Ortega, and I think they know they need to strengthen, because we're also going to have this, a complete tear within the coalition. But just before we come to that, with this war between the CBI, Tommy, D-Mac and Miguel Garcia, we will see Tommy trying to flip some of the CBI members as well. Whether he's successful or not, I do think he actually will be. I do think some of them will see the unrest and how the empire is crumbling around them, how King Kilo is dead and how there's tension with the RDs, how the two at the top of the hierarchy just simply aren't in control at all. One of them is a junkie and the other one is a drunk. We also have to keep in mind Raheem going into episode 9 as well. Raheem is only loyal to Shanti. And I do wonder if that information that Raheem feeds to Shanti is what Tommy and Miguel are able to use to get the upper hand on CBI, or is that information that Shanti will keep for herself, so she can use it to get the upper hand on everybody else. I do think we need to be very mindful of what Shanti does going into the home stretch. She could very well be looking at the situation around her and thinking, all this chaos around me is perfect. It creates the perfect opportunity for me to make a play with Che, who I've finally got the beat with in episode 9. It is also said in the synopsis there are more secrets that will collide with everybody playing a dirty game, and we only have to look at who's been spilling most of these secrets across season 3. That's Shanti Showstopper. The fact that she didn't tell Tommy who her inside source was, what we know about her character before, I definitely do think we need to keep an open mind. She could very well stab Tommy in his back when she gets a meet with Che in episode 9, which would definitely leave Tommy completely isolated in Chicago without a connect. I did also reply to a couple of comments around Shanti possibly exposing Miguel killing Che's son. The problem I actually have with that particular theory is, how would Shanti even know? I do like the idea, I can definitely see the vision, and I can see Shanti spilling that secret as well. She is a secret spiller for her own gain, no doubt, but it's just a question of how does she actually find out? Because there are only actually 2 people who know that information, which is Miguel and Maria. But definitely food for thought, 100% something to keep in mind, the secret around Miguel killing Che's son, that could definitely still come back into the storyline. Now, we've also got an image of Grayskull coming to question Diamond around what happened with King Kilo and Jojo. Both of them are going to be found dead, ironically with JP, and who did they last see with King Kilo towards the end of episode 8? We also know there's no love lost here between these two from season 2. Now, I do actually think with Jinard being Jinard, he'll throw the blame directly on D-Mac and say something along the lines of maybe he gave King Kilo the address and then bounced. D-Mac was the one who probably killed them, and that's why he wants Marshall to kill D-Mac. That was exclusive clip number 2.
You gonna have to put the D-Mac to bed, bro.
By me, Jay.
What the fuck you think? You a green light for this shit or not? This is what?
That's my brother.
Jinard wants Marshall to get rid of D-Mac, probably because he's thrown the blame in his direction for King Kilo and Jojo. But here's the problem. Does Marshall really have it in him to kill his brother? I definitely don't think he does. And frankly, I don't think he wants to either. You can tell he's very hesitant while Jinard is asking him to get rid of D-Mac, which, in my opinion, will only lead to one thing: the heartbreaking death of Marshall, and D-Mac losing yet another loved one, this time his brother. I do think Jinard will cause a lot more chaos in episode 9. I'm not sure if the funeral is in episode 9, and that is one of the things I'm not really sure of.
Yeah, JP. Came in here just to check the funeral out. Smoking on that JP pack tonight. Smoking on that JP. Cute funeral. Told you not to fuck with me. That's where you ended up.
I do think it may be because Chris Lofton has been teasing some BTS shots of the funeral earlier this week over on social media. So we may potentially see the funeral in episode 9, and if we do, then I do think Jinard causes even more chaos at this potential red funeral. Jinard will definitely cause absolute mayhem. Now, one thing I do think we do need to keep in the back of our minds going into episodes 9 and 10 is the seed that Shanti planted in Diamond's mind. We just spoke about how Shanti is very smart, very strategic, in my particular opinion, arguably one of the best chess players on Force, and she knows what she was doing when she spilled those beans to Diamond. Whether it amounts to anything in episode 9, let's wait and see, because the drinking will continue in episode 9 from Diamond, the drugs will also definitely continue from Double J, so self-destruction is what I would call it going into the home stretch, and no doubt CBI will cease to exist pretty soon. Now, we've also got an exclusive image of Tommy and Maria. They're at JP's house, and I do think at the forefront of Tommy's mind will be keeping Maria safe. Same goes for Miguel. He'll want to put the living first before the dead, but at the same time, he definitely will be riding for Tommy because I do think he'll understand the pain that he's going through. But they definitely need to keep Maria and Kate safe, which I do think they will do at Little Village. I still think this time is also different when it comes to Maria and her baby, but I wouldn't be surprised if there was another scare, for example at the Red funeral. Jinard is honestly capable of anything at this moment in time, and I do think with him being slightly unhinged, let's see if Maria or Kate could find themselves in danger. In my opinion, they better not harm Kate. Now, the last talking point I do think we need to keep in mind going into episode 9 is law enforcement. The trouble that Tommy has in the streets, the revenge missions that he'll be on with D-Mac and Miguel, I do think he can deal with those issues, but he still needs to keep eyes at the back of his head for Bobby DeFranco. The fact that he's being pulled in all these million different directions in the streets, I do wonder if Bobby DeFranco can somehow get the upper hand on Tommy. I still find it quite hard to believe that Bobby DeFranco would believe Vic had anything to do with Stacey Marks' murder, because he definitely knows it's Tommy, and I don't think he's going to stop coming for him. You saw it in his eyes towards the end of episode 8, he's definitely full of vengeance, revenge, he wants Tommy Egan to pay, he wants justice for Stacey Marks, but at this moment in time, it's very difficult to see how this story ends with law enforcement, because realistically, what chance do they have to put Tommy Egan in handcuffs? Honestly, I really can't see it. It really would be a shocking twist if that did happen, and a welcome twist at that, because it really would be a WTF moment. Tommy gets caught, maybe even sent back to New York, but I just can't see it happening at this moment in time because we know Power Legacy is on the way. Either way, Bobby DeFranco's next move, AUSA Seng potentially throwing dirt on Stacey Marks' name, and also Victor Snitch, they definitely will play a role in episodes 9 and 10. Does Bobby DeFranco also maybe uncover AUSA Seng is maybe compromised, but from the Marquez cartel? Definitely a lot of angles to consider with this one, and I do also maintain, I still believe law enforcement are Tom Egan's biggest threat, and they could still be the reason why he's also run out of Chicago. We definitely will pick back up after episode 9 and see where we are with law enforcement. But that's a wrap for the preview for All Things episode 9, an episode that is said to be a heartbreaker and one for the books. We know it's going to be a crazy insane episode, and let's see if it is a false finale. Let's see if this is the end of the chapter for Force as we know it. I think we all know what needs to happen. We need to see Jinard and Diamond out of here, no questions asked. In episode 9 or maybe in episode 10, both of them just simply have to go, starting with Jinard. And I do think he will. I do think he will die at the hands of D-Mac. But I can't help but think he will also cause some damage before he goes as well, starting with Marshall and maybe 1 or 2 more. With that being said, drop all your thoughts and predictions down below for All Things episode 9, and as usual, I definitely will catch you guys back here for my breakdown sometime in the late morning or early afternoon. But as always, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you next time.